I hope that you all got to see in real time what I do when I get stuck with creative block. Starting with something as simple as a scribble and just finding anything, the first thing that comes to mind when you see that scribble. And look what we have. We have a brand new character. Have you ever sat down to make a drawing, but you have zero idea what you want to actually draw? Me too. Don't worry, it happens to the best of us. Creative block affects so many professional and hobbyist artists on a daily basis that it is sometimes so frustrating to figure out what you want to draw, and you ultimately either just give up on the day or you make an excuse to not force yourself to draw, and then you just move on to something else. So today what I have for you is a way to combat creative block. My name is Harrison, welcome to the channel, and let's try to figure out how we can combat creative block and keep drawing together. So by no means is the method that I'm going to show you my own original thought. It has been tried and proven that it works, and it can work if you let it. I constantly find myself faced with a block on what to draw and who to draw. So sometimes if you literally just scribble down on a piece of paper and kind of use it to get your anger and frustration out, it can lead you to some really cool drawings. So together, why don't we try to figure out how to combat our own frustrating creative block? Recently, I have been very frustrated in trying to figure out some different characters that I want to create. As an artist, there are so many constant ideas and things and thoughts floating around in my head. I have film scripts floating around, comic book ideas, Dungeons and Dragon characters ideas floating around that sometimes it can just become so overwhelming with the thoughts and ideas that you have just permeating and just collecting, that you get to the point where you are way overwhelmed, and instead of going out and creating that character or idea, you just put it all aside and say, I'll come back to it later. And honestly, sometimes later never comes. So what I have found helpful is if you just kind of rage draw. So grab a highlighter, because we're going to go through some layers and different iterations of this, and we're going to scribble and get our frustrations out. So the first step here is literally scribble. We're going to create a few different ones so we can kind of play around with it, but I'm just going to scribble some random shapes. There's no rhyme or reason. It's literally all random. Okay, I think that's a great start. So now that we have our scribbles, these are all insanely random. You saw me, I almost was like drawing a signature on a document. It had no rhyme or reason for anything, all very randomized. And I used a color that wasn't super dark so that I can go in with my dark fine liner and start finding things and details that might pop out to me. Let's go ahead and start with this one right here, because to me this is the first one that looks like it looks like a face. But I mean, it kind of looks like Quagmire, where this is the chin and that's the top of the head. But ultimately, other than that, I have no idea what it could be. So perhaps this is a helmet of some sorts. And this is the guy's head. And we might draw an ear. And this could even be his hair. I feel like he's got like a crooked nose. And that's kind of the idea right there. I probably would not use this character in anything, but it does kind of help you get into the groove of finding different things. So let's find another one. Let's see what we can accomplish here. This one, what I'm seeing, this kind of looks like, I mean, it could be a couple things. What I'm seeing is, the first thing that came to mind is a nose. And then this could be the mouth. And it's kind of like the eye. Another one where it's not that great. But again, it just really helps get your mind flowing and start trying to find things that you're not really typically used to seeing. So let's jump into a more complicated one like this one up here. There's a lot happening here. What's the first thing that comes to mind? Sometimes it's hard. Sometimes you don't really know what you're seeing. Honestly, what I see in this one is, it looks like, to me, this one looks like Spider-Man. And then on this side, I have no idea what this would be. Maybe it's like, it's like when Peter Parker's fighting and his mask is all ripped up. Could be. I don't know. Again, I know I keep saying that, but it does just help your mind try to find things that aren't there, but that your brain is trying to tell you are there. To me, this one looks like a hand. It's kind of crappy, but it should be like, kind of like a claw. What if we flip the paper upside down? Does this help any? Okay, I kind of see, I like the shape of this. I do really like the shape of this. That's a fun head. I really like that. I think maybe what we're gonna do, we're gonna turn one of these drawings into a completed drawing. So far, I really like this one. What else do we got? This one really got me excited. See, like, this is the power in the scribble. It's the power of letting your imagination find what you want, because originally it was this way and it was something completely different. But as soon as we shifted the paper, we found a really cool head. This could be an alien of some sorts. And now what we can do is take this and play upon it. So maybe there's another thing here. Maybe this is all we got, but we can keep going and seeing. Maybe let's try to flip our page this way. There's something here. I can't quite figure it out. Possibly like some sort of a helmet. I really like this too. Where's this going? Okay, I don't want to mess this one up, but I do like this one a lot. I thought I saw something in this, but I don't. I mean, perhaps it could have been a face. I don't know. It still could be. Okay, we got some sort of lizard monster. The only thing I'm getting here is a martini glass. What else? What's with this one? That was an interesting find. Not exactly what I thought was going to happen. Not exactly a character I would use either, but at least we got somewhere with that one. And then our last one. What is this? What could this be? I'm having such trouble with this one. There's really something dynamic going on here. Maybe, I think I see it. I don't know. I think I lost it, but what I was seeing is a guy in some sort of a pose. Whatever. It's failed. Aside from this really crappy pose, which it was a stretch. It was a huge stretch. I will say that. Aside from that, we got some fun faces here. We got this guy, a hand, these two, got Spider-Man, got a martini glass. We found this cool lizard guy here. That was kind of fun. And I'm really loving this head shape, and I really like this helmet. So let's do something with it. Okay. I think the thing we need to do first is kind of figure out what this guy's face is. What are his facial features? Is he an alien? And then we can kind of go from there. What I want to do first is pull out my super duper old school light box.
You've got mail.
And we're going to trace this face a few times. I love this light box. This is my light box from middle school. There is something so classic and nostalgic about this light box. They make them now for very cheap, and you can buy them on Amazon, and they are very thin. It's almost as thin as a notebook. This literally is this thick because there are a series of light bulbs inside of them. Hence the name light box. There are literally light bulbs inside of there, and it is meant for tracing. So here we go. Here we have a few iterations, albeit some are more crude than the others, but we have our shape, and I probably should have done it in Sharpie, but whatever. So now we can start figuring out who this guy is. Is he an alien? Is he just a man with some weird shape, facial features? Is it a female? We can now start to figure out all these things out. Let's see. Who are you, sir? That doesn't feel right. I was kind of thinking something more along the lines of like Voldemort, but that doesn't, I don't know. No, that doesn't feel right either. Does he have a mustache? Like a big mustache? Perhaps he's not an alien at all. Maybe he's just a fun old man with a hat and a huge mustache. Well, that's an option. What if we go in the complete other direction? I don't need to like make him super alien-y. Trying to put his other ear in, but maybe he doesn't have the other one showing. I'm not sure why a mustache feels right, but it does. No, no, it doesn't. It looks odd. I don't know. There's something there. I really like how simplistic that is. Why do I really like this? Okay. I actually really like this one. No nose or with a nose? Okay, no facial hair. Okay, the question is, do we give him a nose? If we give him a nose, it makes him human. If we give him no nose, it makes him humanoid. And I'm kind of more inclined for that. So I think so far that's the winner there. And I do like this guy. I'm really big into Westerns, so for some reason that's speaking to me, but I really like this version a lot more. Okay, so I think with the plan here, we're gonna go with this guy. We're gonna kind of expand upon this dude here and see what we can come up here with. I think that could be a really cool character. So let's see if we can recreate this head shape. I was trying something there with his eyebrows, but it didn't work. So we have our general shape. I mean, this is exactly what we initially created. Now it's just refining it, enlarging it. I kind of have this idea of what this character would be like. I'm trying to figure out if more detail needs to be added or if he's just the perfect amount of detail. So let me clean him up a little bit and we can see if something needs to change. But I'm really enjoying this process here. This is, I think, as far as where I'm going to take the pencils. I really love how this turned out. So what I'm going to do next is take this pencil drawing and transfer it to a new sheet of paper using the light box. That way we can keep our pencils just in case we don't like our inks. We're not ruining this guy. And then we can kind of have some more experimental fun with it. The problem with these old school light boxes is that the lights can go dim and you need to really press that button to make sure that everything turns on. But it does give me some weird, cool, spooky uplighting. So I'm gonna be really quick and fast with this because we just want our drawing. It's not about getting all the details. We do want to make sure that we get all the details that we need. And just so that I don't get ink all over my matte, or any more ink, I should say. Let's put this down. Bust out our ink and our handy dandy dip pen. Here is our inked drawing. I want to set this aside, let it soak in and dry up, and we can work on our other design until this is all set, and then we can hit this dude with some color. So I was just taking a look at the clock, and if I want to finish our weird alien dude, I won't have time to draw the super cool helmet, but I do really love it, and I definitely will be coming back to this helmet in the future, whether it's for the comics that I'm working on or something. I really think there's some potential behind that. It is a very cool design, but I think if I want to color in and really give our alien dude all of the attention that he deserves, I think we need to just focus on this. So I'm going to take a little break, find the colors that I want to use, and we will color up this dude here. All right, so while this is still drying a little bit, we can start to figure out what our colors can be. I kind of imagine our friend here like blue skinned. I don't really know. Pink maybe? I kind of feel like he's got pale skin. Red might be interesting. Why don't we, while we're waiting for this to dry, can we pretend that this guy's not pink. No, not that either. I mean, red is not bad. I think I like the red the most. Okay, so if we go with red, let's kind of figure this out. We'll roughly shape this in here. So we go with red, and let's see, how dark is this? Pretty dark. What else? Shades. Okay, we can go with okay, that's kind of nice. Okay, so we can use these three colors here. And then I'm thinking for his clothing, does that work? I don't think I like that. No. What if we went back to this color? Ooh, okay. That's kind of fun. Let's try one more. The good news is I already got his silhouette down. So if I ever need to recreate this character, looks like I got it. I think that's too close to being a similar color. I like this one a lot. Go ahead and do our little highlighting trick. We're gonna go with that one. Now, let's see. Looks like we're good to go. Alrighty. So we've waited about 15-20 minutes on this, and now we're just gonna gently erase any of our pencil lines that were there from before. Don't want these to stay in our drawing. Oh no! This is exactly what happens if you don't wait 20 minutes. I even waited 20 minutes and it still happened. Let's see what we can do about that. All right, that might just be a part of the drawing now, and hopefully the marker will cover it up. Now to get into the coloring. This is Viz Aristar. He is 235 years old, the equivalent to someone in their mid-30s on Earth. He comes from the planet Argon. The Argonians are a peacekeeping people. Their mission in the universe is to protect other planets from any evildoer. Viz is a high-ranking member of the Peace Sentinels, effectively the Special Forces Navy SEALs of his planet's military. Viz has served in the military since he was 80 years old. He became a Peace Sentinel at the young age of 100, mostly unheard of for Argonians by his age. At a young age, Viz had a real aptitude for battle, strategy, and universal politics. Growing up, he never had any set goals. He was always just going to be a career military man and follow in his father's footsteps and become the Grand Sentinel, the leader of the Argonian fleet, and essentially the leader of Argon. While Argon is a self-ruling planet and there is no established leader, the Grand Sentinel is the closest thing to a ruler. At 155 years into his military career, Viz finds himself in a very mundane operation. He finds himself being consistently bored, unchallenged, and unfulfilled by his work and current life. On this current mission, Viz and his squad encountered a planet-ending level threat, which Viz eliminates almost immediately with no effort. It is in this moment that he decides to abandon everything he has ever known to travel the galaxy in search of adventure and challenge. Viz flees the mission in a small single-person craft shuttle. His squad reports back to Sentinel Command, and Viz's father explodes with anger, sending every available Peace Sentinel to retrieve his son and bring him back to serve his planet and carry out his rightful duty. Perhaps the rest of the story will unfold in the future to come. And here's our guy! I am so happy with the way this turned out. It is so cool. I love it. I don't know where I am using this character, but I feel like I have to. It's just so good. I love it. I'm really pleased. I thought this was so much fun. So let's take a little recap, shall we, on what we did to get here. So we started with a bunch of different scribbles. This one was our first like poopy thought that came out of our head, and we then somehow got here, which was great because we then took that and came up with 6 different faces that were okay. We liked this guy, and then we found our dude here, and then from there we made him larger. We found our man, our demon alien dude, and this was so much fun here. Tested out some colors, found his palette, what worked best. Obviously this bit here, until we landed on our final piece. And this was just great. I hope that you all got to see in real time what I do when I get stuck with creative block. Starting with something as simple as a scribble and just finding anything, the first thing that comes to mind when you see that scribble. And look what we have. We have a brand new character, something that has never been seen, and now he's usable in one of my next comic pieces. And honestly, that just makes me so excited, because now, instead of being blocked creatively as I was a couple hours ago, now I'm trying to think of all the different scenarios I can use this character, and where to put him, and how he can coexist in a new world. So if you're ever stuck within your own project before you even start a project, or if you're just trying to figure out something to draw and you don't know where to start, just scribble. Take a random color and just scribble a bunch of shapes, and then just don't think about what you see, just see it and draw it. Because the second you start to analyze and overthink what's in front of you is the moment you get blocked. And that's why we're blocked. We have too much going on in our heads, and we need to sift through it. So starting and dropping all the way back down to the basics really helps, and then you end up with something so cool and new and unique that it's hard to stay creatively blocked. Thank you so much for joining me today. I really hope that you enjoyed today's video. I certainly did. Now I have to go on and figure out what I'm doing with our new fun dude here, and how he can live in an awesome world and do whatever it is that he is going to do. If you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up, and if you haven't already, please consider subscribing, and then once you do, hit that bell notification so you know when I upload the next video. Follow me on social media so you can see what I'm up to on the daily and other tips and tricks that I'm putting out consistently. Thanks for watching. I will see you next time with another awesome creative video. Bye guys.